This is Mamuni. Thank you so much for being Amar Baba.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss what are the journal entries required for preparing the asset account and how to solve a depreciation problem number 1 under straight line method or fixed installment method or original cost method or equal installment method step by step in the easiest way. So let's get started. চলো শুরু করা যাক. So let's go through the problem. But before that, let me show you the journal entries which are required for preparing the asset account. Okay? So these are the journal entries which are required for preparing the asset account. Number 1, journal entry for purchase of asset. Asset account debit to bank account being asset purchased. Understood? যখন কোনো বিজনেস অ্যাসেট কেনে তার জার্নাল এন্ট্রি কি হবে? অ্যাসেট অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট. যদি অ্যাসেটটা মেশিনারি অ্যাকাউন্ট হয় দেন দ্য জার্নাল এন্ট্রি উইল বি মেশিনারি অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট. Suppose if a business purchase a machinery, then the journal entry will be machinery account debit to bank account. Understood? Please remember asset account to cash account hoy na, always bank account. Please remember you cannot write asset account to cash account because assets are not purchased in cash. Understood? Because normally business prefer to buy assets through check because they could be shown in the books and depreciation claimed. When an asset is purchased, the journal entry will be asset account debit to bank account and not asset account debit to cash account. Why? Because normally the business prefer to buy assets through check and not in cash. They could be shown in the books and depreciation claimed যদি ওরা অ্যাসেট চেকের থ্রুতে পারচেস করে. Please remember disallowance of depreciation under section 32, section 43 of the act disallows the capital expenditure incurred in case of purchase of fixed assets. If any asset above rupees 10,000 is purchased by paying in cash, the business cannot claim depreciation on it. That is the reason normally businessmen prefer to buy assets through check so that they could be shown in the books and depreciation claimed. And that is the reason assets are not purchased in cash, but assets are purchased through check in the business. Understood? সেই কারণে যখনই কোনো বিজনেসম্যান পারচেস করে অ্যাসেট সেটা পারচেস করে থ্রু চেক. দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিজন টু ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট. কোনো দিনও অ্যাসেট ক্যাশে পারচেস হয় না, তাহলে ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন ক্লেম করতে পারবে না. সো দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিজন বিজনেসম্যান অলওয়েজ পারচেস অ্যাসেট থ্রু চেক অ্যান্ড দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিজন উই অলওয়েজ রাইট অ্যাসেট অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু ব্যাঙ্ক অ্যাকাউন্ট. যখন সেলও করবে তখনও চেকের থ্রুতে সেল করবে, ক্যাশে নয়. আন্ডারস্টুড? নাও লেটস সি দ্য নেক্সট journal entry. Number 2, journal entry for providing depreciation at the end of the year each year. Every year you have to charge depreciation for the asset. The journal entry will be depreciation account debit to asset account, being depreciation charged on the asset. We have done this journal entry in the first chapter, journal. Depreciation comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. So depreciation is a loss and expense for the business. So that is the reason depreciation account is always debit. Asset account is credit because asset comes under real account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. But here asset does not go out from the business, but the value of the asset gets reduced. কি হয় যখন তুমি ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করো অ্যাসেটের ওপর, অ্যাসেটের ভ্যালুটা বা ইউটিলিটি ভ্যালুটা কমে যায়, ডিক্রিজ হয়ে যায়। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিজন অ্যাসেট অ্যাকাউন্টকে ক্রেডিট করা হয়। আর সিন্স ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন ইজ এ লস, সেই জন্য ডেপ্রিসিয়েশনকে ডেবিট করা হয়। বিকজ আমরা জানি নমিনাল অ্যাকাউন্টে অল লসেস অ্যান্ড এক্সপেন্সেস debit. Since depreciation is a loss or an expense for the business, that is the reason depreciation account will be debited and asset account will be credited, because though asset does not go out from the business, but the value of the asset decreases. যখনই তুমি ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করবে কোনো অ্যাসেটের ওপর, তার ইউটিলিটি ভ্যালুটা কমে যায়। আন্ডারস্টুড? সো দিস ইজ দ্য রিজন the second journal entry is depreciation account debit to asset account যখন তুমি depreciation charge করবে। Now let's see the third journal entry. The third journal entry is number 3, journal entry for the amount realized on sale of asset. যখন তুমি সেল করবে asset, তখন কি journal entry হবে? Bank account debit to asset account, being asset sold. When the business sells an asset, the journal entry will be bank account debit to asset account. Could be machinery account, could be furniture account. For example, যদি অ্যাসেটটা ফার্নিচার হয়, then bank account debit to furniture account. যদি অ্যাসেটটা প্লান্ট হয়, then bank account debit to plant account. Understood? And I told you, ক্যাশে সেল হয় না। প্লিজ রিমেম্বার, বিজনেসম্যান কখনো অ্যাসেট ক্যাশে পারচেসও করে না, ক্যাশে সেলও করে না। বিজনেসম্যান অলওয়েজ প্রেফার করে purchase and sell through check. Okay, understood? Number 4, journal entry in case of profit on sale of asset. যদি কোনো বিজনেসম্যান অ্যাসেটটাকে সেল করে after 3 years or 4 years or 5 years and he gets profit on sale of asset, the journal entry will be asset account debit to profit and loss account, being profit on sale of asset. যদি কোনো বিজনেসম্যান অ্যাসেট সেল করে after 3 years or 4 years আর সেই অ্যাসেটের ওপর ও যদি প্রফিট পায় সেল করে, তাহলে জার্নাল এন্ট্রি কী হবে? অ্যাসেট অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট। অ্যাসেটটা যদি প্লান্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট হয়, দেন দ্য জার্নাল এন্ট্রি উইল বি প্লান্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট। অ্যাসেটটা যদি ফার্নিচার অ্যাকাউন্ট হয়, দেন দ্য জার্নাল এন্ট্রি উইল বি ফার্নিচার অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট। আন্ডারস্টুড? নাও লেটস সি দ্য লাস্ট জার্নাল এন্ট্রি, নাম্বার 5, or the last journal entry. The journal entry in case of loss on sale of asset. যদি কোনো বিজনেসম্যান আফটার 3 or 4 years or 5 years পরে কোনো অ্যাসেট সেল করে, অ্যাসেটটা সেল করার পর প্রফিট না হয়, লস হলো, what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be profit and loss account debit to asset account. If the asset is a furniture account, then the journal entry will be profit and loss account debit to furniture account. Suppose the asset account is machinery account, then the journal entry will be profit and loss account to machinery account. Only in case of loss on sale of asset, the journal entry will be profit and loss account to asset account. See, just the opposite. In case of profit on sale of asset, the journal entry will be asset account debit to profit and loss account. In case of loss on sale of asset, the journal entry will be profit and loss account debit to asset account, being loss on sale of asset. See, যখন কোনো বিজনেসম্যান অ্যাসেট সেল করে প্রফিট পাচ্ছে, তখন অ্যাসেট অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট হচ্ছে। তো যখন কোনো বিজনেসম্যান অ্যাসেটটা সেল করলে তার লস হচ্ছে, তখন অ্যাসেটটা ক্রেডিট হচ্ছে। যখন কোনো বিজনেসম্যান অ্যাসেটটা সেল করে প্রফিট হচ্ছে, তখন প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট। কেন? প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট কামস আন্ডার নমিনাল অ্যাকাউন্ট। অ্যাকর্ডিং টু নমিনাল অ্যাকাউন্ট, all incomes and gains credit. এটা প্রফিট কি হয়? প্রফিট ইজ অ্যান ইনকাম, সো ইট কামস আন্ডার নমিনাল অ্যাকাউন্ট। অ্যাকর্ডিং টু নমিনাল অ্যাকাউন্ট, all incomes and gains credit. যখন লস হয়, তখন প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট হচ্ছে, বিকজ প্রফিট অ্যান্ড লস অ্যাকাউন্ট কামস আন্ডার nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Please remember, in case of loss on sale of asset, profit and loss account will be debited, because profit and loss account comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. So profit and loss account will be debited. Understood? Now let's go through the problem. I hope you understood the journal entries. Now see the problem. Depreciation problem number 1. On 1st January 2010, XYZ Limited purchased a machinery costing rupees 60,000. On 1st July in the same year, it purchased additional machinery worth rupees 18,000 and spent 2,000 for its installation. On 1st July 2012, the machinery purchased on 1st January 2010 having become obsolete is sold off for rupees 27,000. Depreciation is provided at 10% per annum on straight line method. Per annum means per year. Accounts are closed on 31st December every year. Show the machinery account from 2010 to 2012 and depreciation account from 2010 to 2012. So, আমরা একটা করে line পড়বো and we'll do the problem. Okay? Please remember we are preparing asset account under straight line method because it's given. Accounts are closed on 31st December every year. So, depreciation has to be charged on 31st December every year. And we have to show the machinery account for 3 years. 2010, 2011 and 2012. As well as depreciation account for 3 years. 2010 to 2012. That is 2010, 2011 and 2012. So, let's start preparing the machinery account first. Okay? Now, let's go through the problem step by step so that you can understand. On 1st January 2010, XYZ Limited purchased a machinery costing rupees 60,000. তার মানে কি 1st January 2010 XY Limited একটা machinery purchase করেছে যার cost হলো 60,000. So, what is the journal entry for purchasing an asset? Let me show you again. See, asset account to bank account being asset purchased. Here, asset account is machinery account. So, we'll write machinery account debit to bank account. Understood? Since in the problem, it has been given the asset is machinery account. So, we'll have to prepare machinery account. Understood? So, now simply we have to do the ledger posting for purchasing an asset. And I've shown you the journal entry will be machinery account debit to bank account. Understood? We'll have to write 2010 January 1st, date, particulars, journal folio, 2 amounts column, date, particulars, journal folio, 2 amounts column, debit, credit. This is a ledger account, nothing else. And we are doing ledger posting. Understood? So, what is the amount? 60,000. We'll write in the outer column because there is no other additional charges for purchasing the first asset. And we'll write dash purchases. Understood? See, on 1st January 2010, XYZ Limited purchased a machinery costing 60,000. So, that is what I did. 2010, January 1st to bank account purchases 60,000. Now, let's go through the problem again. So, on 1st July, in the same year, that is 2010, it purchased additional machinery worth rupees 18,000 and spent 2,000 for its installation. That means what? 2010 আরেকটা additional machinery purchase করেছে. In the same year, on 1st July 2010, the businessman has purchased another machinery for 18,000 and spent 2,000 for its installation. So, what will be the journal entry for purchasing of machinery? We know machinery account debit to bank account. So, let's write. So, what will be the date? July 1st, same year. To bank account. To bank account purchases how much? 18,000. Understood? So the businessman has purchased another machinery for the business which cost 18,000. But there is an additional expenses which is installation. So we'll have to write on July 1st to bank account installation. For how much? 2,000. Now we'll add up this to 18,000 plus 2,000 will give you 20,000. So the first machinery cost 60,000 and the second machinery cost 20,000. Please remember, the cost of the second machinery is 18,000 only. But what is the total cost of the machinery? The total cost of the machinery is determined after adding all expenses incurred for bringing the asset to usable condition. Please remember, second machinery cost price কত? 18,000. But তোমাকে সবসময় কি দেখতে হবে? Total cost of the machinery. Total cost of the machinery হলো 18,000 plus 2,000. Please remember, any expenses incurred for bringing the asset to usable condition will be included in the total cost of the machinery. তার মানে 18,000 is not the cost of the second machinery. The total cost of the second machinery is 20,000. Understood? The additional expenses could be installation, duties, transit insurance, erection, anything. All you got to do is add up those expenses with the cost of the machinery purchased. Always remember, you have to charge depreciation on the total cost of the machinery. শুধু machinery purchase করলে হবে না, machinery purchase করে ready to use করবার জন্য যেই এক্সপেন্সেসগুলো লাগবে সেগুলোকেও অ্যাড আপ করতে হবে। এবার ফার্স্ট machineryতে কোনো এক্সপেন্সেস দেখায়নি আমাদের। That is the reason we have straight away written 60,000 in the outer column. Understood? Second machinery যখন purchase হয়েছে তার সাথে একটা additional expenses আছে, installation. That is the reason we have written in the inner column. দুটোকে add করার পরে we have written 20,000 in the outer column because the cost of the first machinery is 60,000 and the cost of the second machinery is 20,000. Please remember, you have to write the total cost of the machinery. You cannot write 18,000 instead of 20,000 because 18,000 is incomplete. You always have to write the total cost of the asset. So 18,000 plus 2,000. And the journal entry for all the additional expenses will be to bank account dash installation or to bank account dash duties or to bank account dash erection. এর সাথে আরও additional expenses হতে পারতো। For example, to bank account dash erection, to bank account dash duties, to bank account dash transit insurance. Got to add up all the amounts and then you have to write the final amount in the outer column. Understood? Now let's see the problem again. Now let's go through the problem again. On 1st January 2010, XY Limited purchased a machinery costing 60,000. We did that. On 1st July in the same year, it purchased additional machinery worth 18,000 and spent 2,000 for its installation. On 1st July 2012, আমি এখন 2012 দেখব না, আগে আমাকে the year 2010 close করতে হবে. For that, there are two machineries. We have to charge depreciation on two machineries. So under straight line method, we have to charge depreciation. Accounts are closed on 31st December every year. তো আমাকে depreciation charge করতে হবে on 31st December. আর machinery অ্যাকাউন্টটাকে আমাকে 3 years শো করতে হবে 2010 to 2012, that is 2010, 2011, 2012. So let me do the first year. So every year we have to charge depreciation. So first year এ আমার কাছে দুটো মেশিন আছে, we have to charge depreciation for 2 machines. So let me do the workings first. Always remember you have to show the depreciation in the workings. Problem করাটা বড় কথা না, always you have to show the workings, otherwise you can't score full marks. Remember this thing, presentation is very important. Just problem করে দিলে হবে না, presentation is very important. You have to do all the workings. So let me show the workings for 2010. So let me show the depreciation for the year 2010. Now see the workings. You got to write like this. Number 1, depreciation for the year 2010. 2010 এ আমাদের দুটো machinery ছিল. Please remember every year you got to charge depreciation for all the machines. In this case, in the year 2010, the business has purchased 2 machineries. First machinery on 1st January 2010 and the second machinery on 1st July 2010. দুটো machinery কেনা হয়েছে। In the year 2010, দুটো machinery purchase করা হয়েছে business-এ। In the year 2010, 2 machineries were purchased for business. The first machinery was purchased on 1st January 2010 and the second machinery was purchased on 1st July 2010. So you got to charge depreciation every year under straight line method because ওরা সেটাই আমাদের বলেছে depreciation charge করতে under straight line method. So we got to charge depreciation under straight line method, or this is also known as fixed installment method or original cost method or equal installment method. What is the depreciation rate? See, depreciation is provided at 10% per annum, means per year, on straight line method. Accounts are closed on 31st December every year. So we got to charge depreciation every year on 31st December. Understood? So now let's depreciate. And for depreciation, we got to show the workings. Okay? শুধু machinery account open করলে হবে না. You got to show the workings of depreciation every year. Understood? Otherwise, you won't get full marks. See, on 1st January 2010, XYZ Limited purchased a machinery costing rupees 60,000. That means we got to charge 10% per annum on 60,000 for how many months? 1 year. Because machinery was purchased on 1st January and we have to depreciate till 31st December. So 1st January to 31st December means 1 year. So on first machinery, we have to charge depreciation at the rate of 10% for 1 year under straight line method. And see the second machinery. On 1st July in the same year, that is 2010, it purchased additional machinery worth 18,000 and spent 2,000 for its installation. So the total cost of the machinery is 20,000. So for the second machinery, we got to charge 10% per annum as well on 20,000 for how many months? For 6 months. Why? The machinery was purchased on 1st July. তার আগে 30th June, 1st January to 30th June machinery business-এ ছিল না। machinery business-এ যখন থাকবে তখন থেকেই তোমাকে depreciate করতে হবে। যখন machinery ছিল না তোমাকে depreciation করতে হবে না। Understood? তাহলে আমরা first machinery-টা কেন 1 year করছি? Because 1st Jan থেকেই machinery-টা ছিল। That is the reason we are charging depreciation on the first machinery from 1st January to 31st December. But on the second machinery, we cannot charge depreciation for the whole year. We have to charge depreciation for 6 months only. Why? Because machinery-টা purchase করা হয়েছিল 1st July-তে. Machinery was not there in the business on 1st January 2010. Machinery was purchased on 1st July 2010. So, we have to charge depreciation from 1st July to 31st December. So, let us count from 1st July to 31st December. July, August, September, October, November, December. 6 months. So, we have to charge depreciation on the second machinery, that is 20,000 at the rate of 10% per annum for 6 months. That is 1st July to 31st December. Understood? Now let me show you the workings for the year 2010. Now see, workings. Number 1, depreciation for the year 2010. Depreciation on the first machinery. Let M1 be the first machinery at the rate of 10% for 1 year. That is 1st January 2010 to 31st December 2010. That is 1 year. That is 60,000 into 10 by 100. So under straight line method, you always have to charge depreciation on the original cost every year. Please remember, under straight line method, you have to charge depreciation on the original cost every year. So what is the original cost of the machinery? 60,000. So 60,000 into 10 by 100 for 1 year will be 6,000. Add, there is another machinery in the same year. So we got to add depreciation on the second machinery. Let M2 be the second machinery. So depreciation on the second machinery at the rate of 10% per annum for 6 months. That is 1st July 2010 to 31st December 2010. That is 20,000 into 10 by 100 into 6 by 12. 6 months is equal to 1,000. So for the first machinery, we are getting 6,000 depreciation. For the second machinery, we are getting 1,000 depreciation. So what is the total depreciation for the year 2010? 6,000 plus 1,000. That is 7,000. This is the total depreciation for the year 2010. Just because XY Limited 2010 এ দুটো মেশিনারি পারচেজ করেছে, তো তোমাকে দুটো মেশিনারিরই depreciation দেখাতে হবে. So you go to add up the depreciation of the two machineries. 6,000 plus 1,000. So the total depreciation will be 7,000. This is the way you got to show the workings. Otherwise, your marks will be deducted. You won't get full marks. Please remember, presentation of the problem is very important. You should not give any scope for the teachers to deduct marks. Understood? So let's do the ledger posting for depreciation now. How to write? So what is the journal entry for providing or charging depreciation at the end of each year? Depreciation account debit to asset account. In this case, depreciation account to machinery account. Understood? So let's write. Always charge depreciation on 31st December. So we'll write by depreciation account the total depreciation of two machinery. Depreciation account, how much? 7,000 in the outer column. Okay. Now let's close the first year. Which side is greater? See, the debit side is 60,000 plus 20,000, 80,000. And the credit side is 7,000 only. So obviously, the debit side is greater. And the rule is, যেই সাইডের অ্যামাউন্টটা বড়, সেই অ্যামাউন্টটাই we have to write on both the sides. So we'll have to write 80,000. And please remember, depreciation account, we always have to write on the credit side on 31st December. Understood? এটা ক্যালেন্ডার ইয়ারে বলা হয়েছে, since they have mentioned calendar year, that is 1st January to 31st December. Please remember, in this particular problem, accounts are closed on 31st December every year. That is the reason we are charging depreciation on 31st December each year. But please remember, in this particular problem, accounts are closed on 31st December every year because the business follows calendar year. But if the business follows financial year, then you go to charge depreciation on 31st March. Understood? So shortfall ta kothay hoche? On which side? Obviously on the credit side. The total of debit side is 80,000 and the total of credit side is 7,000. So there will be balancing figure on the credit side. So what we have to write? We have to write December 31st Buy balance CD. Buy balance CD. How much? So, buy balance CD will be 80,000 minus 7,000, that is 73,000. But please remember, we cannot straight away write buy balance CD 73,000. We have to write the book value of the two machineries separately. So, let's write M1, that is the first machinery. So, what is the cost of the first machinery? The cost of the first machinery is 60,000. And what is the depreciation of the first machinery? 6,000. So, deduct depreciation from the first machinery. So, at the end of the year, the book value of the first machinery is 54,000. How? 60,000 minus 6,000 will give you 54,000. Let me show you. So, the book value of the first machinery will be 60,000 minus 6,000 depreciation is equal to 54,000. What is book value? Book value is equal to original cost of the machinery minus depreciation for the year. So, 60,000 minus 6,000 depreciation will give you 54,000. So, the book value of the first machinery will be 54,000. What will be the book value of the second machinery? The original cost of the second machinery is 20,000. And the depreciation for the year is 1,000. So, 20,000 minus 1,000 is equal to 19,000. So, the book value of the second machinery will be 19,000. So, let's write. The book value of the first machinery 54,000 and the second machinery 19,000. If you add up these two, you'll get 73,000. Understood? Deduct 7,000 from 80,000, you'll get 73,000. You might ask me why we are writing machinery 1, machinery 2 separately. Because problem ta korte easy hobe. Understood? So, the book value of the first machinery is 54,000 at the end of 31st December 2010, and the book value of the second machinery at the end of 31st December 2010 is 19,000. Understood? So, the book value of the first machinery at the end of 31st December 2010 is 54,000 and the book value of the second machinery at the end of 31st December 2010 is 19,000. যখন XYZ Limited first machinery টা purchase করেছিল on 1st January 2010, তখন original cost ছিল 60,000. But on 31st December 2010 এ 60,000 আর machinery value নেই. Why? Because it has been depreciated. Because the value of the machinery has decreased on 31st December 2010. It is no more 60,000 because depreciation was charged on the machinery. So the book value of the first machinery is 54,000. So the book value of the second machinery is 19,000 and no more 20,000 because when XYZ Limited purchased the machinery on 1st July 2010, the value of the original cost of the machinery was 20,000. তখন আমরা depreciation charge করিনি. But after charging depreciation, 20,000 আর থাকে না. So that is the reason the machinery has decreased. So the value of the machinery has gone down to 19,000 and no more 20,000. Understood? So now 54,000 is the book value of the first machinery and the book value of the second machinery is 19,000. So we'll have to write second year, that is 2011, January 1st, to balance BD, to balance BD. Now remember, we again have to write M1. This thing we have to write here, 54,000. M2, 19,000. Understood? Now we have to write 73,000 in the outer column. That is 54,000 plus 19,000. See, try to understand. On 1st January 2022, the cost of the first machinery was 60,000. But on 1st January 2011, the cost of the first machinery is 54,000 and not 60,000. Understood? Similarly, the cost of the second machinery on 1st July 2010 was 20,000. But on 1st January 2011, the cost of the second machinery is 19,000 and not 20,000. Why? Because depreciation was charged. For the first machinery, 6,000 was charged. For the second machinery, 1,000 was charged. So the total depreciation was 7,000. Now, the book value of the first machinery, that is M1, is 54,000. So now the book value of the second machinery, that is M2, is 19,000. So now let's go through the problem again. Now see, on 1st July 2012, so 2011 e kono machine purchase hoyni. So 2011 er kichu bola nei. That means 2011 e ar kono machinery purchase kora hoyni. Third machinery purchase kora hoyni. So we have to charge depreciation for 2011 as well for the two machineries, that is M1 and M2. So let's do it. So let's charge depreciation on 2011 on 31st December. We'll have to write by depreciation account. By depreciation account. So what will be the depreciation? We have to charge 10% on the first machinery. Which amount? Please don't charge 10% on 54,000. We are preparing the machinery account under straight line method. So we have to charge 10% per annum on the original cost of the first machinery. That is 60,000, not 54,000. Please charge depreciation at the rate of 10% per annum on the original cost of the first machinery. That is 60,000. So we have to charge 10% on 60,000 and not 54,000 because we are preparing machinery account under straight line method. Understood? Now we have to charge depreciation at the rate of 10% per annum on first machinery. So what will be the amount? 60,000 or 54,000? Please charge 10% per annum on 60,000 and not on 54,000. Why? Because we are charging depreciation under straight line method. And straight line method is also known as original cost method because under this method, depreciation is charged at a fixed percentage on the original cost of the asset. The amount of depreciation remains equal from year to year. Every year we have to charge on the original cost method. First year আমরা 60,000 এর উপর চার্জ করেছি, সেকেন্ড ইয়ারও আমরা 60,000 এর উপরও চার্জ করব, থার্ড ইয়ারও আমরা 60,000 এর উপর চার্জ করব বিকজ we are charging depreciation under straight line method. আমাদের প্রবলেমে বলা আছে straight line মেথডে করতে. So that is the reason under straight line method we always have to charge depreciation on the original cost, that is 60,000 and not 54,000. Understood? So let's see the workings for depreciation for the year 2011 for two machineries. See workings. Number 2. Depreciation for the year 2011. Depreciation on the first machinery M1 at the rate of 10% per annum for 1 year. That is 1st January 2011 to 31st December 2011. That is 60,000 into 10 by 100 for 1 year. Because I told you we always have to charge depreciation on the original cost of the asset under straight line method or SLM in short form. Understood? So the depreciation will be 6,000 for the first machinery. And please do not charge depreciation on 54,000 for the first machinery. Understood? Always on the original cost method, that is 60,000. Every year the amount of depreciation will be same. Understood? Now write add because you have to charge depreciation for the second machinery as well. So depreciation on the second machinery, that is M2 at the rate of 10% per annum for 1 year. That is 1st January 2011 to 31st December 2011. That is 20,000 into 10 by 100, 2,000. So, you got to add 6,000 plus 2,000 will give you 8,000. So, total depreciation for the year 2011 will be 8,000. So, you got to show the workings this way. So, the total depreciation for the year 2011 for 2 machineries will be 8,000. This is the total depreciation for the year 2011. Now, see the difference. In the first year, depreciation on the second machinery was 1,000. Why? Because the machinery was purchased on 1st July 2010. তো যখন থেকে পারচেস করবে 1st জুলাই থেকে 31st ডিসেম্বর অবধি 6 মান্থস হয়। তাহলে এই ইয়ারে কেন 1 ইয়ার হলো? বিকজ 1st জানুয়ারি 2011 এ অলরেডি সেকেন্ড মেশিনারিটা বিজনেসে ছিল। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিজন ইউ গট টু চার্জ depreciation for the whole year. Understood? So the total depreciation will be 8,000 and you got to charge depreciation for the second machinery on 20,000 and not on, see, not on 19,000. Please remember, we got to charge depreciation on the second machinery on the original cost of the asset, that is 20,000, not on 19,000, because we are charging depreciation under straight line method or fixed installment method or original cost method. Understood? Or equal installment method or SLM in short form. Understood? So let's write the total depreciation. So total depreciation will be 8,000. Understood? So the depreciation for 2011 is 8,000. Let's close the second year. Which side is greater? Obviously, debit side. Credit side is only 8,000. So we'll write 73,000 on both sides. So we'll write 73,000 on both sides because this is the rule. Now, shortfall kothay hocche? Credit side. So what will be the balancing figure? 73,000 minus 8,000. That will give you 65,000. So we'll have to write December 31st by balance CD by balance CD. We cannot write 65,000 straight away. So we have to write M1, M2. So what is the book value of? The total value is 65,000. We'll write here. Okay. So the balancing figure is 65,000. But what is the book value of M1? So what is the balancing figure of the first machinery? Or what is the book value of the first machinery? 54,000 minus depreciation of the first machinery. That is 6,000. See. Take a look. 6,000. So 54,000 minus 6,000. So 54,000 minus 6,000 will give you 48,000. We'll write here. So what is the balancing figure of the second machinery or what is the book value of the second machinery? 19,000 minus depreciation. So what is the depreciation for the second machinery? 2,000. Let me show you. 2,000. So 19,000 minus 2,000 will give you 17,000. Okay. So let's write. So 19,000 minus 2,000 will give you 17,000. Now if you add up these two, 48,000 plus 17,000 will get 65,000. Understood? This is the balancing figure. So that is the reason we are writing M1 54,000, M2 19,000 so that it will be easy to make you understand. Understood? So now we'll have to write. Always you have to write. CD means carried down. So we have to write to balance BD. Always you have to write. To balance BD. How much? First we have to write M1, then M2, then we have to write 48,000 here. And then we have to write 17,000 here. And then add up this total and we'll write in the outer column 65,000. 5,000. So now on 2012, January 1st, this is the book value of the first machinery and the second machinery. First machinery no more is 60,000 because the first machinery has been depreciated twice. In the year 2010 and in the year 2011. দুবার depreciation হয়ে গেছে first machinery. Depreciation এর পরে 2012 এ first machinery value হচ্ছে 48,000. আর second machinery value কি 17,000. No more 20,000 because দুবার depreciation হয়ে গেছে. 2010 এ একবার depreciation হয়েছে, 2011 এও একবার depreciation হয়েছে. After that, the value of the machinery is 17,000. Understood? Now let's go through the problem again. On 1st July 2012, the machinery purchased on 1st January 2010 having become obsolete is sold for rupees 27,000. What is obsolete? Obsolete means outdated or no longer needed because something better or newer has replaced it. Better machinery এসে গেছে, সেই জন্য XY লিমিটেড ওই মেশিনটাকে সেল করে দিচ্ছে, ফার্স্ট মেশিনটাকে। সো XYZ লিমিটেড ফার্স্ট মেশিনারিটাকে সেল করে দিয়েছে। বিকজ আমি কি করে বুঝলাম ফার্স্ট মেশিনারি? বিকজ অন 1st July 2012 কবে সেল করেছে? অন 1st July 2012 the machinery purchased on 1st January 2010 having become ফার্স্ট জানুয়ারিতে কোন মেশিনারিটা কেনা হয়েছিল? সি। On 1st January 2010, XYZ Limited purchased a machinery costing 60,000. তার মানে যেই মেশিনারিটার পারচেস প্রাইস ছিল 60,000 সেটাকে সেল করে দিয়েছে on 1st July 2012. আমাদের কাজ কি? এবার আমাদের দেখতে হবে সেই মেশিনারিটাকে সেল করেছে প্রফিট হয়েছে না লস হয়েছে। আর সেল কবে করেছে? 1st July 2012। আমাকে ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করতে হবে মেশিনারির ওপরে বিকজ 30 June 2012 অব্দি মেশিনারিটা বিজনেসে ছিল। আন্ডারস্টুড? যদি এটা বলতো অন 1st January 2012 এ মেশিনারিটাকে সেল করে দিয়েছে তাহলে আমাকে কোনো ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন 2012 এ চার্জ করতে হতো না ফার্স্ট মেশিনারির জন্য। সিন্স দ্য মেশিনারি ওয়াজ ইন দ্য বিজনেস till 30th June 2012, you got to charge 6 months depreciation for the first machinery. তারপরে ওটা সেল হয়েছে। So let me show you the workings, how to do the workings when you are selling the machinery. Workings. Number 3, loss on sale of the first machinery, that is M1. This is the amount column. Please remember, you cannot write loss because we don't know. আমি জানি বলে আমি লিখলাম। You got to leave a blank space here. Loss or profit ও হতে পারে। Okay. So first thing you got to write is purchase price of the first machinery on 1/1/2010 কত ছিল? The purchase price of the first machinery on 1st January 2010 এ ছিল 60,000. 10 এর depreciation কত ছিল first machinery? Because XYZ Limited first machineryটাকে সেল করছে। So less depreciation on 31st December 2010. That is, I've already shown you. Let me show you once again. The first machinery was 6,000. Understood? So we'll deduct 6,000 from the machinery. So 6,000. 60,000 minus 6,000 will give you 54,000. So book value on 1/1/2011. That is, book value on 1st January 2011 will be 54,000. See, this is 54,000. Understood? This is the way you got to do. First তোমাকে always কি লিখতে হবে? যেই মেশিনটা সেল করবে তার পারচেস প্রাইস লিখতে হবে। পারচেস প্রাইস অফ দ্য ফার্স্ট মেশিনারি on 1st January 2010 was 60,000. Less depreciation on 31st 12 2010. 60,000 into 10 by 100 for the whole year, 6,000. So you'll get 60,000 minus 6,000, 54,000. So the book value on 1/1/2011, that is, book value on 1st January 2011 will be 54,000. So first machinery 2011 ছিল. So we got to charge depreciation again. So less depreciation on 31st/12/2011. That is 60,000 into 10 by 100. 6,000 again. Depreciation amount will be same every year because depreciation is charged on the original cost of the machinery. Understood? So 54,000 minus 6,000 will give you 48,000. So the book value on 1st January 2012 will be 48,000. তো আমাকে কি করতে হবে, আবার ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করব। যদিও 2012-এ XYZ লিমিটেড ফার্স্ট মেশিনারিটাকে সেল করেছে, কিন্তু কবে সেল করেছে? 1st জুলাই। তো 1st জুলাইতে সেল করলে 1st January to 30th June 2012 অবধি মেশিনারিটা was in the business. So we got to charge 6 months depreciation on the first machinery. So less depreciation on 1st July 2012 in bracket 60,000 into 10 by 100 into 6 by 12. That is 3,000. 48,000 minus 3,000 will give you 45,000. So book value on 1st July 2012 is 45,000. Now you got to deduct less sale price on 1st July 2012, 27,000. Sell করেছে কত প্রাইসে? 27,000. When the book value of the first machinery on 1st July was 45,000. তার মানে লস হলো। মেশিনারির দাম ছিল আফটার ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন অন 1st July 2012 45,000, কিন্তু XYZ লিমিটেড ওটা সেল করলো 1st July 2012-এ 27,000. তাহলে what is the loss? 45,000 minus 27,000 is 18,000. So this is loss on sale of the first machinery, 18,000. For example, যদি সেল প্রাইস হতো 50,000, তাহলে 45,000 minus 50,000 means profit on sale হতো 5,000. Now you can ask me, আমি কত অবধি ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করব? সেলিং প্রাইস অবধি। প্রাইস নাও ইউ ক্যান আস্ক মি, আমি কত অবধি ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করে যাব মেশিনারিটাকে? যখন মেশিনটা সেল করবে ঠিক ততদিন অবধি। দ্য মেশিন ওয়াজ সোল্ড অন 1st July 2012. সো টিল 30th June ফার্স্ট মেশিনারিটাকে সেল করা হয়েছে 1st July 2012. তো তোমাকে ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করতে হবে টিল 30th June 2012. কেন? মেশিনটা যতক্ষণ বিজনেসে থাকবে তোমাকে ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করতে হবে। যেই মেশিনটা সেল হয়ে যাবে ইউ ডোন্ট নিড টু ডেপ্রিসিয়েট। মেশিনারি বিজনেসে না থাকলে তুমি কাকে ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করবে? সিন্স সেল অফ দ্য ফার্স্ট মেশিনারি টুক প্লেস অন 1st July 2012, তো 30th June 2012 অবধি ফার্স্ট মেশিনটা বিজনেসে ছিল, তো তোমাকে 30th June 2012 অবধি মেশিনটাকে ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করতে হবে। তো বুক ভ্যালু কত হলো আফটার ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন অন 1st July 2012? 3,000. 48,000 minus 3,000. Book value of the first machinery on 1st July 2012 45,000. আমাকে 1st July অবধি দেখাতেই হবে, তাহলে তো আমি বুঝতে পারবো what is book value, original cost of the first machinery minus depreciation till 30th June 2012. So book value on 1st July 2012 45,000. So the value of the first machinery on 1st July 2012 was 45,000. Understood? Not 60,000. কারণ প্রতি ইয়ারে ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করতে করতে ভ্যালুটা ডিক্রিজ করে গেছে। তো 45,000 ছিল, কিন্তু XYZ লিমিটেড ওটাকে সেল করলো অন 1st July 2012-এ 27,000-এ। তার মানে অনেক কমে সেল করলো। সো বুক ভ্যালু অন 1st July 2012 is 45,000. Less sale price on 1st July 2012 is 27,000. So loss on sale is 18,000. So loss on sale is 45,000 minus 27,000 is equal to 18,000. Understood? So now let's do the ledger posting. Amra first machinery ledger posting korbo, then we'll do the second machinery. Understood? 2012 1st July by depreciation this depreciation is for the first machinery, okay, not total depreciation. So what is the depreciation for the first machinery on 1st July 2012? See 3,000. Less depreciation on 1st July 2012 is 3,000. That is 60,000 into 10 by 100 into 6 by 12. That is from 1st January 2012 to 30th June 2012. 3,000. Understood? Now we have to write July 1st, the machinery was sold. Now we have to write July 1st, the first machinery was sold. By bank account, sell. How much? 27,000. See, less sell price on 1st July 2012, 27,000. Understood? And what is the loss on sell? 18,000. যখন আমরা machinery sell করছি, what is the journal entry? See, number 3. Journal entry for the amount realized on sale of asset, bank account debit to asset account or to machinery account, being asset sold. Okay? So that is we did by bank account. যখনই sell হবে by bank account. Credit side কি আসে? By depreciation account. আর sell করলে by bank account. আর debit side কি আসে? To bank account যখন purchase হয়. Always remember, purchase করলেই debit side to bank account. আর sell করলে credit side by bank account. আর depreciation always credit হয়. Understood? Now, loss কোথায় আসবে? See the journal entry. Now, see the journal entry. Number 5. Now, see the journal entry in case of loss on sale of asset. That is, profit and loss account debit to asset account or machinery account. Okay? So, let's write. So, loss hole always we have to write on the credit side. By profit and loss account, loss on sale, how much? 18,000. See, loss on sale 18,000. Understood? So please remember, loss on sale hole always by profit and loss account. Always credit side profit and loss account লিখতে হবে। আর যদি profit on sale হয় always to profit and loss account debit side. Understood? তাহলে first machinery story শেষ হয়ে গেল। But still there is another machinery M2. তো M2 এর জন্য তো depreciation charge করতে হবে। So we got to charge depreciation for the second machinery for 1 year. So let me show you the workings for the second machinery. কারণ first machinery sell হয়ে গেছে, ওটার আর কোনো কিছু নেই। Depreciation for the year 2012. তো XY Z লিমিটেডে এখন একটাই মেশিনারি আছে, দ্যাট ইজ M2, সেকেন্ড মেশিনারি। সো একটা মেশিনারির উপরই ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ হবে, কারণ ফার্স্ট মেশিনারির গল্প শেষ, ওটা সেল হয়ে গেছে। অলওয়েজ তোমাকে ফার্স্ট মেশিনারির ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন, সেল, লস অন সেল আর প্রফিট অন সেল আগে করে নিতে হবে, তারপর যেই মেশিনারিজগুলো থাকবে সেটা ডেপ্রিসিয়েট করবে। ওকে, তো ওয়ার্কিংস নাম্বার 4, depreciation for the year 2012. Depreciation on the second machinery, that is M2, at the rate of 10% per annum for 1 year. That is 1st January 2012 to 31st December 2012. Always charge depreciation on the original cost of the method, that is 20,000. Understood? So 20,000 into 10 by 100 for 1 year is equal to 2,000. So let's write depreciation for the second machinery. December 31st by depreciation account. By depreciation account. This is for the second machinery. How much? 2,000. Understood? So we have to close the accounts. Now which side is greater? Obviously debit side. So we'll have to write 65,000 on both sides. So what is the total of credit side? Credit side total is 50,000. 3,000 plus 27,000 plus 18,000 plus 2,000 will give you 50,000. The total of debit side is 65,000. So what will be the balancing figure? 65,000 minus 50,000. So we'll have to write December 31st by balance CD. So we have to write by balance CD M2 15,000 because M1 our business any, first machinery our business any, only second machinery ache, that is M2. So by balance CD we always have to write 2 balance BD beneath the debit total. 2 balance BD M2, that is 15,000. What is the date? 2013 January 1st. আমাদের কি বলেছিল? 3 years show the machinery account from 2010 to 2012. So we have shown 3 years. Now we have to prepare depreciation account for 3 years. Okay, let me show you. I hope you understood the machinery account. Now when we are preparing depreciation account, you always have to look at the depreciation. See, by depreciation account 7,000 in the year 2010. This is nothing but ledger posting. So we'll have to write in the depreciation account to machinery account 7,000. Okay, so let's write 2010 December 31st to machinery account 7,000. The date will be same. Just copy. When you're preparing depreciation account, we'll have to write to machinery account and date will be same. 2010 December 31st. Amount will be 7,000. Understood? Now we have to close the year. See. Debit side is greater. So we'll write 7,000 on both sides. Okay. The total of debit side is 7,000 and the total of credit side 0. So obviously 7,000 minus 0, 7,000. So the debit side is greater, we'll let 7,000 on both sides and the balancing figure will be transferred to profit and loss account. So we'll have to write by profit and loss account, profit and loss account transfer. This is balancing figure. 7,000. How we are getting 7,000? 7,000 minus 0, 7,000. Understood? Please remember the amount of depreciation is always transferred to the profit and loss account as an item of loss. Balancing figure তোমাকে always by profit and loss account transfer করতে হবে. Okay? So first year complete. Let's see the second year. Just we got to look at the depreciation. So second year 2011. By depreciation account 8,000. So we'll have to write to machinery account 8,000 on 31st December 2011. Okay, that's all. So let's write 2011 December 31st to machinery account how much? 8,000. So you have to close this. Which side is greater? Obviously debit side because credit side is 0. Let's close this account. So write 8,000 on both sides. This is nothing but ledger posting. So balancing figure ki hobe? We'll have to write same date 2011 December 31st. So balancing figure will be transferred to profit and loss account. By profit and loss account by profit and loss account transfer 8,000. How we are getting 8,000? 8,000 minus 0, 8,000. Now let's see the last year. In the last year, there are 2 depreciation, not total depreciation. 2 machines are separately written because first machinery sell hoye gechilo. What is the depreciation for the first machinery on 1st July 2012? 3,000. You have to write that separately. And the second depreciation was on 31st December 2012 by depreciation account for the second machinery 2000. So we have to write two depreciation. So first we have to write the first depreciation 2012. So first we have to write the depreciation for the first machinery যেটা সেল হয়ে গেছে 1st জুলাইতে July 1st. How much? Let me show you. 3000. Let's write. To machinery account. $3,000. So let's write the depreciation for the second machinery in the year 2012 again. Let me show you. On December 31st, by depreciation account, second machinery 2000. So let's write December 31st to machinery account how much? 2000. So we'll write 2000 here. Which side is greater? Obviously debit side. 3000 plus 2000, 5000. And on the credit side, there's nothing. That means 0. So we have to write 5000 on both sides. So what is the balancing figure? 5000. How we are getting? 5000 minus 0, 5000. And we'll always transfer the balancing figure to profit and loss account. Profit and loss account. Transfer. 5000. Date is 2012. Same date. July 2012. The date is 2012. December 31st. Year ending. Understood? So this is how we prepare machinery account and depreciation account. Understood? I hope you understood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your precious time. I sincerely hope this was helpful. And before I fade out, please remember our dream job does not exist. So why not build our own empire? Otherwise, someone else will hire us to help them build their empire. Bye-bye. Take care, stay safe and stay blessed always.